Sam Shocker, Pop Trigger on Hulu.com. Deneen Manette, criminal investigator, author of Ultimate Betrayal, and Anahita Sedaghatfar, attorney, legal counsel to the Cochran firm. Shayna Hubers killed Ryan Posta. You're actually shaking your head at what Anahita. Are you saying that if somebody spits in your direction, you can go ahead and chop their head off?
That's not what I'm saying, but I'm taking issue, Dr. Drew, with the fact that there are all these comparisons between this case and the Jodi Arias case. This isn't Jodi Arias Part 2. In fact, I think there are so many differences between the two cases. And first and foremost, this girl called 911 shortly after the killing and confessed.
Confessed or tried to build her case right from the outset. By the way, she called her mother first.
Look at some of the other evidence. She didn't try to clean up the crime scene. She didn't try to get rid of the gun. And her story, Dr. Drew, has been consistent from day one. Unlike Jodi, who I think her story changed 3, 4, 5 times. First it was ninjas, then it was some armed masked men. I mean, I think a lot of these factors actually work in her favor. This is not going to be Jodi Arias Part 2.
Sam?
Yeah, because...
Well, so Anahita, she's convinced the neighbors are going to come to her defense and corroborate her point of view, but apparently on the stand they did not. They heard crying, but never saw any fighting.
Dr. Drew, how many times have I come on your show and said that you should not speak to the police without an attorney unless you have an attorney present, especially when you are being accused of murder?
Is she not
it's
a
never
nightmare
a good
case?
idea.
Nightmare case,
It's
right?
a nightmare case, and those words are going to be used against her, but I don't think that police interrogation tape is damning. I'm sorry. I think it can help her.
Well, her attorney argues that the witness testimony does. What do you mean that's not true? I can't imagine somebody finishing somebody off.
Dr. Drew, you should know there is no one way that somebody reacts in a traumatic situation. How can you say this is what an innocent person would do? You can't.
No, I'm not saying innocent. I'm saying it's bizarre that she would insist on finishing him off. I've never heard of such a thing.
No, that's not true.
Well, have you defended people? What?
That happens quite frequently in battered women cases. I'm not saying she's a battered woman. If she is, if the evidence showed that she was an abused woman, I can tell you, they stab, 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 stab. They shoot, shoot, shoot until that threat is abated in their mind.
You're just scaring the heck out of me. But I will tell you what, I'm gonna torture you some more with more of her interrogation tape. Take a look at this.
Is where I knew we would die immediately and fast.
All right, counselor. Let me talk about let me talk about this woman's personality functioning here and her thinking. So she realizes she did this, so it's painful to her to see him in that misery. So she needs to put herself out of that pain by stopping him from twitching anymore. This is a really sick person. I'm sorry. That's if this is what happened, allegedly. But if this is the way she thinks, this is a really severe borderline personality where everything's out there, but it's all her.
That helps the defense, doesn't it, Dr. Drew? If you were the expert witness for the defense.
If you want to make some sort of mental health claim in this, okay.
I
think that's her only defense.
You just said it. She seems borderline. If anything, that's a mitigating factor for her.
All right, it's a mitigating factor, but it's not an explanation. It's not. She should have gotten help for her borderline disorder. The clinginess with the sex, the inability to tolerate abandonment.
Anahita can explain
that. Well, counselor, how does one come to a defense of this sort of nonsense?
She doesn't have to use a stand your ground defense, Dr. Drew. She can just argue plain old self-defense, and I think that is what her defense is arguing. And for that 911 tape, I think just the mere fact, like I said, that she even called 911, that helps her. It doesn't hurt her. And then her demeanor, she sounds scared. She sounds frightened. How are you supposed to act moments after you just took another human being's life? No. And if you listen further, I hope your producers play the entirety of the tape. She actually says, he was beating me up. He picked me up and threw me against the table. He grabbed a gun. He was trying to kill me. All of that is consistent with her story, as she said all along, Dr. Drew.
And Anahita, just to torture you one little bit more, drive that stake in a little deeper, during the interrogation, the police say they never asked her a single question, yet she continued rambling over 2 hours. Now, maybe that's where the mental health defense is going to come in. They can say she was manic or bipolar, didn't know what she was doing.
Yeah, that won't be a defense. That'll be more of a mitigating factor. And like I said, the defense is going to use that tape and spit it in their favor. And back to what we were talking about, her lack of injuries. It was my understanding that she did have injuries. But even if she doesn't, Dr. Drew, that does not negate her self-defense argument. If she goes with the theory that she was a battered woman, the mere fact that he may have yelled at her, he may have raised his voice, he may have grabbed for the gun would be enough for her to argue that she reasonably feared for her life and that she had to grab the gun and shoot him to save her own life.
Anahita, you seem so sincere, but your panel mates here are literally getting headaches. Sam first.
Well, thanks,
okay,
Dr. Drew.
Because we can spin around all day about it. My defense attorney is not going to back down from defending her client. I can see that.
You're right about that.
Anybody would like Anahita, if you have something to defend, Anahita's your attorney.
Call me.
She's the Cochrane organization, as we can find her. Right? What's the website, Anahita?
TheCochraneFirm.com.
TheCochraneFirm.com. All right, listen, here's the deal. We're going to do this. We need to create criteria where when people give their directive to physicians about health care, they've got to include stuff like this now.
It's so sad, Dr. Drew, that we're to that point where now people have to put this in writing. We have to include in our the advanced directives,
yes,
that we want to have sexual contact or intimacy with our spouse if we ever get Alzheimer's disease. And Deneen is right. It's a slippery slope, but it's a slippery slope the other way, Dr. Drew,
Both
because
ways.
if this case, if the prosecution succeeds in getting a conviction here, what is next? Are we going to prosecute spouses that want to hug their spouse that has dementia? What if they kiss their spouse
Hold
that
on
has
a second.
dementia?
Hold on.
Where does it stop?
I don't know who you are. Would you bring Anahita back for a second? I'd like my usual defense attorney in there.
I'm here.
So, because I don't know you anymore. All right. Listen, I can't agree with you more. Listen, the legal system, the legal system has brought upon our ability to care for patients so many onerous phenomena, you have no idea. I just assume this is just going to be another one. We got to deal with these. Now, Anahita, who has the right to decide if someone with dementia is able to give consent? We don't have criteria for this yet. How is this going to shake out?
That's the problem. That's the issue, Dr. Drew, and that's why I think we need to really start thinking ahead. Maybe we do have to require people to put that in their advanced directives. But, I mean, I said this on your show last week. I cannot imagine any jury that is going to actually convict this man of having sex with his own wife. He is such a sympathetic defendant, Dr. Drew.
Yeah, why don't we play that tape again of him crying, listening to the tape of minor. Anahita, A, is that a sufficient charge? And B, what is going to happen to her?
That's a sufficient charge. I think she's going to be convicted. She's probably going to have to serve some time and definitely, hopefully, get some counseling. I mean, she's an admitted alcoholic. She's an admitted sex addict. And I think, Dr. Drew, a lot lot too, is her trying to be cool. It's another parent that's trying to be a friend to her kids.
Maybe, but Anahita, if she's as sick as you say she is, she doesn't know what she's doing. And Sam, who reported this. So, Anahita, what is the obligation of a sponsor when he or she is hearing very confidential material but is aware of it potentially being harmful to others?
Right. I'm glad. I think this sponsor did the right thing, as hard as it is, because you do want to maintain that confidentiality so that the other person feels comfortable opening up and talking about things. But I think the sponsor did the absolute right thing here. And you guys, these charges are not minor charges. She is going to be punished, as she should. But what I'm saying is she clearly needs to get counseling, parenting classes. She has a lot of issues, Dr. Drew. And I bet you if we look back into her history, she probably grew up in a lot of trauma in her life.
Yeah, possibly. That's probably true. I mean, that's sort of the way it goes, as you know well. Yeah, cycle of abuse, cycle of trauma.
Right.
But it's strange in this case, though, how this woman seemed to have been well put together. Anahita, I got to say, I don't want to dismiss or excuse what she's done, but I do feel bad for her. I really do. She has an illness. She has alcoholism. Right. Deneen is going to attack me for this. I'll give you a chance, Deneen. Slowly roll. But help me with this, because I don't want to dismiss the consequences of what she's done. She needs to pay the consequence. It's part of her disease. She should have gotten help earlier. But, man, I feel bad for how she must be feeling. And she has harmed, let's be clear, she's harmed a bunch of kids.
She has. You're right about that. And I think a big part of her defense is going to be that she herself is ill. She is an admitted alcoholic. She is an admitted sex addict. All of that comes into play, and a judge is going to consider that. And that's why I hope that part of her punishment will be treatment, and also treatment for the kids, Dr. Drew.
Oh, absolutely. Years of treatment for the children.
It's just, we wonder why we come on your show and we talk about these kids posting sex tapes online and kids raping other kids during spring break in the broad daylight. I mean, look at what types of households that we're seeing these days.
That's absolutely right. And
it's sad.
But Deneen,